Hey, my name's Franco. You might know me as Wild Staten Island from Instagram. Have you ever wanted to go out hiking on Staten Island but weren't sure where to go or thought you needed fancy equipment to go hiking? Well, today we're going to go over where to go, what to bring, and how to read trail markers. And the good news is with over 10,000 acres of public land on Staten Island, you don't have to go far to find a trail. And you don't need expensive equipment. There's many benefits to going hiking. It's great exercise. Studies have shown that spending time in nature every week reduces stress, anxiety, and improves overall mood. And if you're in school and learning about the Revolutionary War, going out on certain trails will actually bring you to spots where things in the Revolutionary War actually happened. So you could see what you learned about almost come to life by being in those spots. From the Conference House and Conference House Park on the South Shore to Port Richmond Park where Sullivan's attack occurred, to Ladderhead Hill Trail where Roadhouse Spring is. Spring still flows today, and during the Revolutionary War, soldiers would drink there and camp nearby. To Bloodroot Valley, where we're at now, where a British messenger used to ride his black horse between the British camps on Staten Island, following this stream behind me as their guide. So with thousands of acres of park and forest land on Staten Island, finding a trail near you should be easy. Great place to start is the Staten Island Greenbelt, which is a series of trails that are interconnected through various parks. If you head over to sigreenbelt.org, you can find trail descriptions, trail maps you could download and print out, as well as trail locations where you can pick up the trail. If you don't print out a map from the website, you can always stop into the Nature Center here in the Greenbelt and pick up a brochure and a map. So right now we are on the red trail and white trail in the Greenbelt system. So all the trails in the system are color-coded and have different levels of difficulty. The easiest trails in the system are the Nature Center Trail and the Pink Trail in the Wildlife Refuge. The most difficult trail in the system is the Yellow Trail, and the white, orange, blue, and red trails are considered the easy to moderate trails. The longest trail in the system is the Blue Trail, which runs about 12 miles in one direction. So now that you've hopefully picked a trail that you're going to go on, let's talk about how to prepare for your hike. You don't need a lot of fancy equipment. One of the first things you're going to need is some good sturdy footwear that provide ankle support and good traction on the trails. The other thing you're going to want to do is make sure to wear long sleeves and long pants. This is for tick protection, and you should try to wear something light colored so you can see any ticks that adhere to you. And when you're on the trails, try to stay in the center of the trail away from any long grass or brush that might have ticks on them. Grab a bottle of water when you head out on the trails. Even in the winter, you could get dehydrated, so you want to make sure to drink plenty of water. If you're interested in some of the plants and animals and other wildlife you might see out on the trails, stop by your public library and pick up some field guides. Another handy book is the Reptiles and Amphibians of Staten Island hand guide that you can pick up from the Staten Island Museum's gift shop. It talks about all the amphibians and reptiles that you could find on Staten Island and has sketches of them. There are snakes out on the trails. All of them are harmless, none are venomous. So you might be wondering where we're at right now. We're at the ruins of the Heyerdahl house. The Heyerdahl family built this house to create a vineyard here, but unfortunately the rocky soil wasn't good for growing grapes. This is right off the red trail. Now that you've learned how to find a trail, how to prepare for your trail, let's talk about how to read the trail markers out on the trails. Now, if you chose to hike in the Greenbelt at a lot of the start of the trails, which are called trailheads, you'll sometimes find an educational interpretive sign that'll talk about trail that you're on, and it may even cover some of the stuff you might see, like the eastern box turtle, the eastern gray tree fern. So one of the most common trail markers that you'll find out here is the blaze trail marks, which are painted on trees, and they're color coded, so they're the color of the type of trail you're on. Right now we're on the purple trail in High Rock Park. So these three marks indicate that this is the trailhead, the start of the trail. Two here, one on the top. As you walk along the trail, you'll see just single marks on trees, and these just let you know the trail's continuing this way. And so whenever the trail starts to turn, you'll have marks indicating that the trail is either going right or left. It's two marks, one on the bottom and then one offset to the side that the trail's turning. In this case, the trail's turning right. And here the trail turns left, same thing, one on the bottom, then one off-centered going to the direction that it turns. And we've come to the end of the trail, and it's just the inverted trailhead sign with one at the bottom and two at the top. Congratulations, you've done your trail. The other trail marker that you'll find on Staten Island is the disc markers. These circular discs are attached to the trees. They're the color of the trail, in this case the red trail. And on these discs you'll find the agency that maintains the trail around the circle. In this case, the State Department of Environmental Conservation maintains this trail. And on a lot of them, they'll actually have the name of the park, where in the middle, in this case, this one just says trail, but other ones will say the name of the park, which is useful because a lot of these parks are interconnected and the trails runs through different parks, so you can tell where you are. Right now we're in St. Francis Woodlands, which is a great park if you have limited mobility or aren't ready to get your boots dirty, because they have an elevated walkway, which is wheelchair accessible, that goes through a portion of the park. So now that you've learned how to read trail markers, grab a friend, some family, and head out on those trails. While you're out there, keep an eye out for some of the unusual animals and plants that Staten Island has to offer, like this skunk cabbage here. This odd shaping thing right here is actually a special kind of leaf. This is one of the first plants to come out in the spring, and it actually produces its own heat. That's why you'll see it come out sometimes when there's still snow on the ground. Inside of this is a special type of flower. Later on, the rest of the leaves start to come out. So get out there and hike Staten Island.